The truth is, we only wear about 20% of what's in our wardrobe. 80% of our clothing we don't even wear, and that's because 20% we love them so much that we wear them over and over and over and over. Good evening, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be tips on how to curate and perfect your perfect wardrobe. So I get a lot of questions on this channel as well as over on my Instagram, especially if I make videos featuring parts of my closet or people see parts of my wardrobe or shoes, asking how I keep my closet sort of minimalist-ish without overflowing, and how I'm happy with the pieces that I have, how I choose the items that I have, and people always seem to take note that everything looks very cohesive. Everything seems like it goes together. Everything is for the most part pretty neutral. And yeah, I'm really flattered that people seem to like the way my wardrobe looks. And I've definitely been focusing and honing in on creating my own perfect wardrobe for many, many years, starting way back when I first discovered minimalism and different principles and things that worked for me. So yeah, in today's video, I want to share with you guys some tips to make your wardrobe work for you, little tips that I have, little rules that I follow for when I'm shopping, the types of clothing that I like to wear. And at the end, I'm also going to share with you guys some of my favorite places to buy certain items. And if there's anything in particular that I mention, I will try to link it down below for you guys as well, because I've definitely gotten questions on a few things in my wardrobe. So with that out of the way, let's get started in today's video. And if you're new here, I would love if you would consider subscribing. On this channel, I share pretty much anything that brings me joy, anything that I'm inspired to share, whether that's home life, minimalism, decluttering, fashion, skincare, makeup, perfume, just pretty much whatever brings me joy and happiness. So I would love to have you guys along for the ride. And with that out of the way, let's get started in today's video. All right, so the first tip is going to sound very cliche, but this is to know what colors work well on you, colors and silhouettes, but we'll talk more about silhouettes in a moment. So when it comes to colors, a really good idea is to kind of know what your undertone is. And I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm a little bit neutral because I can wear different colors and tones and shades from multiple different palettes. And I've noticed that I definitely look better in lighter, more pastel colors, and I look really good in sort of light colored, neutral tones. So I have a lot of beiges, a lot of creams, a lot of light gray, a lot of like ecru type of colors, linen. Basically light, neutral, pastel colors tend to look the best on me. I don't look good in super saturated colors or super dark colors, such as royal blue or magenta or turquoise. Those colors just do not look good on me, but I can pull off a very light baby pastel lilac, very light kind of sky blue, so something that isn't too overly saturated. I've also noticed that white looks really good on me, and I can really pull off a bright white or just a very neutral white near my face, but I cannot pull off black too close to my face. I really look very washed out and very pale when I wear black. Also, I can really pull off a couple of the primary colors and a couple of true neutral colors, such as a true emerald green or red. I don't really know how much clout to give the color analysis thing, because there was a lot of colors in my color analysis that told me that I should be able to wear those colors, but actually if I try to put that into tangible outfits, I don't feel that they look very good on me and I don't feel my best in them. So I would say take seasonal color analysis with a grain of salt. Just wear what you know works for you and what you know is a good color for you. And I think that you kind of already know, like if you were to look at the pieces in your wardrobe that you gravitate toward the most, you probably already know what colors work the best on you, because those are going to be the pieces that you want to wear the most, the pieces that you gravitate toward, you know. And for myself personally, I gravitate toward a lot of light colors, a lot of neutral, pastel, beiges, whites, a little bit of light gray, and just really soft, muted sort of pastel tones. Those tend to be the best for me. So I really don't pay too much attention to the color analysis, but the point is, know what colors work for you, know kind of what your undertone is and what colors really suit and flatter you the most, because that'll really help you when you're trying to decide what pieces you should keep or let go of. The next tip is to know what silhouettes flatter you the best and what shapes flatter you the best when it comes to clothing. So for me, for example, I know certain necklines work better on me than other necklines. I don't look good in turtlenecks. I'm really short, so turtlenecks tend to swallow up my neck and make me feel like I have no neck, and they just don't flatter me, so I don't wear turtlenecks. What works best on me is a crew neck or a jewel or a round neck. I don't look good in a boat neck or any of the really wide necklines. Also, V-necks are not my favorite. They They just don't make me feel the best. So I kind of steer away from V-necks. So once you know those kind of silhouettes that work best for you, it makes it a lot easier both when you're shopping as well as when you're looking at your wardrobe and trying to declutter. I also know that I look better in a more petite or skinny strap as opposed to a really thick strap. So when it comes to bodysuits, I always go for a thinner strap rather than a thick, wide strap. I also have noticed that I prefer a long sleeve to a short sleeve. I definitely look better with either a full length or totally sleeveless. So that's something that I've learned about myself, and that was kind of through trial and error. You know how sometimes when you're shopping, you see a dress online or something that you think is really beautiful, but when you get it and you put it on, it just doesn't work, and you're not quite sure why. Maybe it's because it's not the right sleeve length or the neckline isn't quite right for you. And it's really amazing how these things are so individual and can look great on somebody else, but maybe not so great on us. Another thing that I've noticed with silhouettes is that I like to emphasize the bottom part of my body and de-emphasize the top part of my body. So this comes down to knowing what shape you are. And I am pretty much straight up and down. I have a very, very slight hourglass figure, but for the most part, I'm pretty much straight up and down. I'm quite rectangular. So I don't like to wear anything with shoulder pads or poofy shoulders or anything that accentuates the shoulders because it tends to make me look very top heavy. So what I like to do is I like to wear something that cinches in at the waist and then flows away from the waist or the hips. So I like to go with things like A-line skirts, empire waists, things that flow away from the waist. So that is another tip, is to know what silhouettes work best on you and fill your wardrobe with those silhouettes. Once you know that you look great in something that cinches in at the waist and flows away, well, now you've opened up a whole door of shopping options. The next tip is to know your lifestyle and to make sure that your wardrobe reflects your lifestyle. So for me personally, I've told you guys before in other videos, I love buying special occasion outfits and fancy dresses and cocktail dresses. However, the truth is, I don't spend a huge amount of my time going to these places where you have to wear those kind of fancy items. I am a nurse by profession, so I wear scrubs when I go to work, so I don't need a lot of office clothing. I also go to the gym multiple times during the week, sometimes 2 or 3 times, sometimes 5 days a week. So gym clothing is an area I can splurge a little bit more in. I also spend a lot of time at home. I'm kind of a homebody, so having loungewear and pajamas and comfortable things to wear around the house that don't make me feel frumpy or look frumpy but are still functional and comfortable and something I can just wear around the home, that's really important to me as well. So I'm always keeping my eyes open for casual things I can wear around the house, great lounge pieces. Try not to fill your closet with items that are not going to be worn enough in your everyday today life. Make sure that you have a proper ratio of what's in your closet to what you actually do on a day-to-day basis. The next tip is to purchase a lot of neutrals, and this is going to sound really boring, but the reason I buy so many neutrals in my closet is because this way I always have outfits that I can mix and match together. I never have to struggle to come up with what am I going to wear with this top, or what top am I going to wear with these pants, or what shirt should I wear with this skirt. I know that everything in my closet for the most part can be mixed and matched, and that goes the same for handbags and shoes. The only exception is sometimes I do have a pop of color. Like for example, I told you guys that I really like bright red and bright green. So I actually do have a bright red handbag and I have a bright green handbag, but those would be like statement pieces. And because everything else in my wardrobe is a neutral for the most part when it comes to clothing, I can literally wear those bags with any of my outfits, which makes them a lot more versatile. Otherwise, they might be bags that would sit there and not get worn because they're so specific and so special. Yeah, so I think that's honestly one of the best tips, and that's something I've really honed in on. I would say probably about 6-7 years ago, I was buying still a lot of really bright, colorful items. Like, I still kind of knew what I liked, but I had a lot more color in my wardrobe. And the trouble when you have things that are too printed or too specific or too special or too unique is that you really find that you don't end up wearing them that often because they're very noticeable, they're very memorable, they don't go with as many things. It just is a lot more functional to have pieces that are more neutral that you can wear over and over and over, and people aren't really going to take notice and be like, oh, you've worn that shirt like 3 times this week. I have a lot of pieces, for example, like long sleeve white t-shirts and bodysuits that I can literally switch up my shoe and my bottoms and it looks like a completely different outfit even though it's the same top. And this is a really great tip for when you go traveling. is to bring a white long sleeve bodysuit with you that you can wear with shorts, skirts, jeans. You can kind of mix and match and create different outfits. It really cuts down on the number of garments you have to take with you when you go traveling. So yeah, once you kind of find out like what colors look good for you, what shades and tones look good on you, what neckline, what sleeve length, and certain items that really, really work for you, it makes structuring your wardrobe and building outfits so much easier to have those staple items that literally can be mixed and matched with everything else. Another tip that I have, and this is something that I learned the hard way, but now that I know it, I will never forget it, and that is once you find something that works for you, that is that perfect item that makes you feel incredible and flatters your body, and the color is perfect, and the length is perfect, and the neckline is perfect, and everything about it makes you feel like $1,000,000. Buy a few of them because I have learned this the hard way. I have purchased shirts in the past that I absolutely loved that shirt so much, and I wore the heck out of it. I wore it until it was literally falling apart or stained, or I couldn't get the armpit stains out, or it was becoming discolored, or the stitching was coming loose, or it was starting to become see-through because I loved it so much. I just wore it that much. And guess what? When I wanted to replace it, that item was no longer available. So once I find a silhouette or a color that looks good on me, I get multiples of them. So I have done this with outfits for the gym. If I find a great activewear top that feels really good, the sleeve length is perfect, the neckline is perfect, it sits perfectly on my waist where I want it to sit, it's the right color, I get a couple of them because I know that I'm going to wear the heck out of that thing and then I'm not going to be able to find it again once it's worn out. So this goes for bodysuits, t-shirts, not so much with jeans because I don't wear jeans a whole lot. That's pretty much it, I guess. Once you find something that's perfect, get a few of them or get it in different colors so that you have a couple of options to choose from. One example is my crew neck long sleeve Babaton bodysuit from Aritzia. I have two of them in white because white is the most versatile and it's the color that I wear the most, but I also have it in a couple of other colors so that I have options. And I know that those colors work for me, and I know that the sleeve length and the neckline and everything about it works for me. So it makes it really, really easy to mix and match and create a completely different looking outfit. Another tip that I have is to mix and match more casual pieces with more elegant and luxurious feeling pieces. So one of my signature looks, I guess, which I didn't even realize was a signature look until somebody commented on my Instagram, is to wear a regular cotton long sleeve white t-shirt with a crew neck and pair it with a satin midi skirt. I just think that this look is so chic and effortless. One of my favorite items to wear is a pleated midi skirt. Another thing I like to do is to mix and match different fabrics. So I really like a mixed media type of look. I really love really luxurious feeling fabrics. I really love satin and silk and chiffon, and I really like girly feminine fabrics. I like tulle, ruffles, and anything that is basically a little bit glamorous, a little bit feminine and glamorous, but in order to make them fit more for a day-to-day look that looks effortlessly chic, that's when I like to pair them with something super simple and super casual, like a pair of canvas sneakers or a pair of leather sneakers or a cotton long sleeve t-shirt. So there's just so many different ways that you can combine different types of fabrics and make it look effortlessly chic. So that would be one of my favorite tips, and I think it's more personalized to me, but it's something I love to do, is to do that whole mixed media thing where you have a luxurious fabric and a more casual fabric and mix them together. And then once you've got your base, your casual outfit that is a mix of sort of casual and luxurious, you can just switch out your handbags, switch out your shoes, take it from day to night, and just make it look completely different depending on the type of bag or shoes that you pair it with. So now I'll just quickly share with you a few of my favorite places to shop for my clothing items. So when it comes to dresses and skirts and a lot of my tops, I really, really love Aritzia. I would say Aritzia is probably my favorite place to shop. It's a little bit more on the expensive end. It's definitely not on the fast fashion end. It's a little bit more high quality, which is what I like about it. You're going to pay upwards of maybe, I would say $100 on average for a dress, but you're getting a really good quality piece of material. You're getting something that is very well made. I really love Aritzia just because I know that I'm getting quality, and if I pay for something, I'm going to be very happy with the result. I'm going to be happy with the color. I'm going to be happy with what I receive in the end. So I really, really like Aritzia. I buy shorts from Aritzia. I buy bodysuits. dresses, skirts, sweaters. I just absolutely love Aritzia. Their socks are great. Their activewear is great. I really like their TNA Butter high-rise leggings for the gym. Can't recommend Aritzia enough if you guys are in the market for chic, effortlessly elegant clothing, and also for activewear and more casual sort of loungewear. Aritzia just has it all. They even sell shoes. This video is not sponsored, by the way, and I've never worked with Aritzia. I would love to work with them. They even sell New Balance shoes. They sell Adidas, like the Stan Smith. They sell Asics. Just really great pieces to completely round out your outfit. So love Aritzia. When it comes to handbags, I like a mix of sort of like dupes, like Amazon alternatives to higher end designer looks, because I love the look of designer handbags. And I do like authentic designer, and I also like high fashion, or is it called high street? I'm not sure, but like the bags that you could get from Zara. Not so much H&M. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of H&M. I have noticed that the quality with a lot of H&M is not very good. Shein is another place I do not shop from. So anyway, that's just a side tangent. I don't like super cheap fast fashion like Forever 21, H&M, Shein. I do not like to shop from those places. I just don't like the quality, and I do not like how I feel when I'm wearing something that I know only costs $10 versus spending a little bit more on something a little higher quality that is going to stand the test of time and feels like it came from an ethical, sustainable kind of source. So places like Evernew, Everlane, what else? I really like shopping at the Hudson's Bay because they do carry a wide variety of different brands there and something for everybody's budget. So the Hudson's Bay up here in Canada is sort of like a higher end department store. They still don't have the best high end stuff. They're kind of branching a little bit more out into that high end feel. They're starting to get a little bit more like super high end designer brands there. They're sort of along the lines of like a Holt Renfrew or a Macy's or a Bloomingdale's, but like toned down Canadian version. So yeah, one place I loved to shop was Nordstrom Rack, and then they took all the Nordstroms and Nordstrom Racks away from Canada. So that makes me so sad, because I used to find amazing things on Nordstrom Rack. That was my favorite place to shop, and now we no longer have access to it here. So going back to handbags, I have a mix of designer handbags and the type of handbags that you might pay $50 or $60 for, or $70 from a place like Zara. When it comes to designer, I either like to get something that's really high end, or I like to just get something that doesn't have logos. So I really love Bottega Veneta for that. I like that Bottega Veneta doesn't have any logos, and for that reason you can also get dupe bags or bags that look like Bottega, but because there's no logos on the bag, nobody would be able to tell the difference whether it was Bottega or not Bottega. So I will actually link this particular bag down below for you guys. I absolutely love it. I think it's made of like vegan leather perhaps, and it's obviously a dupe of their dumpling bag, I think it's called, and it's such high quality and I love it so much, and it just looks really expensive and really luxurious, but it was literally like $45 on Amazon. So huge fan of getting high quality items, and otherwise just like the odd item from Zara or Lulu's or a place like that, and then otherwise just investing in higher quality designer pieces. When it comes to shoes, I really like kind of, again, having a good mixture of shoes. I have to admit, I have a thing for designer shoes. I'm not really collecting them, but I've definitely gotten a couple new pairs over the last couple years, courtesy of my boyfriend. They've all been gifts from him for the most part, with the exception of a couple that I've purchased myself, but he's definitely spoiled me and gotten me some really nice shoes, and I love them so much. So I do have a couple of higher end pairs of shoes, which have taken me a few years to get them. They definitely did not come overnight. And then I have a couple of sort of like, I would say mid designer, low to mid designer, entry level type of designer, but still really good quality. So one of my absolute favorite brands to get shoes from is Sam Edelman. I've been talking about this for years, you guys. Sam Edelman makes beautiful, amazing shoes that look super high end, and they actually resemble something like Stuart Weitzman, which you're going to be paying like $500 to $1,000 for a pair of shoes. But Sam Edelman has the look for a fraction of the price. You're going to be paying more like $100 to $150, yet they are still very well made, super high quality, and very beautiful shoes. So I have quite a few shoes from Sam Edelman. That's probably one of my favorite designers to purchase from. I also really like Steve Madden. I think that Steve Madden has a lot of beautiful, very stylish, often very trendy items, designer, like higher end designer inspired pieces, but for a fraction of the price again, but they feel and look luxurious. I'm a huge fan of Steve Madden. I actually have quite a few pairs from Steve Madden. When it comes to sneakers, my favorite brand of sneakers is probably Lacoste or Keds, honestly. So this is where the more practical, functional, affordable part comes through. I actually have discovered lately that I am definitely more of a sneaker person than I ever thought that I was. I really love the look of a classic, clean, white sneaker. I just think you cannot go wrong. You can mix and match them with so many outfits. And so for that reason, I do have a few pairs of Keds. I have the Keds Ace sneaker. I have the Keds Triple Kick, I think is what it's called. I actually have 2 pairs of the Keds Triple Kick because I love them so much. And when I go on vacation, the Keds Triple Kick is like my go-to airplane shoe. It's my go-to travel shoe. It also doubles as a gym shoe when I'm on vacation. I can wear it to go lift weights. I can wear it to go sightseeing. I can wear it to go walking around for the day, go shopping. It's just such a versatile shoe. And I also really love the Lacoste shoes. I don't know the name of the shoe. I really would like to look at other sneakers. So probably my next shoe investment when I do invest in another pair of shoes will probably be like a really nice pair of higher end like leather designer sneakers. I don't know when that'll happen because I don't really need them, but that's kind of like my next, I think, designer purchase will probably be just a really good pair of sneakers. So yeah, I think my shoe wardrobe has a pretty good mix of higher end and more like affordable items. When it comes to shoes, I definitely do not recommend, and I do not myself purchase cheap shoes. I'm not going to purchase really cheaply made shoes from Shein or Zaful or Amazon or something. Amazon's got all types of shoes, but I've definitely purchased like cheap shoes from Zaful or Shein before, and the sizing has been way off. They have not been comfortable. They looked cheap. They felt cheap. They felt like they were going to break. They didn't have any padding in the sole of the shoe. Just, you can tell, like when it comes to shoes, you can tell where the quality is. And so for me, when it comes to things like shoes, handbags, clothing in general, it's really important for me to have good quality. I would rather spend a little more and get something that's good quality, that's going to last, than try to save a bunch of money and get a cheap pair of shoes that's going to wear out. Because let's face it, guys, your outfit, what is in contact with the ground? You are literally wearing your shoes down every second of the day that you're out doing something. So you have to have good quality on your feet. Otherwise, it's going to hurt and they're going to fall apart and they're not going to last. So shoes for me, I've just learned to spend a little more and get a little bit more quality. So that's it for today's video, you guys. Those were my top tips, I guess, or like the things that I follow the most to help you curate your perfect wardrobe or help you hone in on what's going to be a better wardrobe for you. So essentially, know what looks good on you, know what works for you, buy multiples, stick to neutrals, and choose quality over quantity or over saving money. That is probably essentially it in a nutshell. And also, once you find what works for you and you know it works, get a few of them so that you don't find yourself in a position where those items are wearing out and you can't replace them. If you find a piece that you love that's like an instant 10 out of 10, heck yes, immediately add to cart or like buy a couple of them. Stock up, because the truth is we only wear about 20% of what's in our wardrobe. 80% of our clothing we don't even wear, and that's because 20% we love them so much that we wear them over and over and over and over. So if a piece is that great to you, why not buy 5 or 6 of them? In the end, it's going to pay off versus having a closet full of stuff that doesn't quite work for you and you're never going to wear it. So that essentially is all of my tips in a nutshell. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I think it's really fun talking about fashion. I love shoes and clothing and handbags. I love putting together cute outfits. I love not having to struggle and feel like I have nothing to wear. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in my next one. Bye for now.